This video is brought to you by viewers like you. If you get value from this video and can spare just $1 and or more, please consider contributing it by visiting patreon.com/𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀 and or paypal.me/𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀.
Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy 𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗶, aka 𝗗𝗄𝗀, and today we are going to be talking about setting up a Plex server. Now, if you don't know what Plex is, think of it as Netflix, Hulu. You're able to import all of your backup movies from an MP4 format or a .avi or even a .wmv, whatever movie format it is, you're able to play it through Plex. Now, I assume that you have purchased the movie with your backups. Now, when I say backups, I don't want to cross the territory that there's some pirates out there that pirate movies. We're not here to support that, but if you make a backup of that movie that you legally purchased, then awesome. But you do you. If you're gonna be a pirate, awesome. If not, and you want to support the whole cast and developers, this is not a video game, the cast and the directors and whatever, then support them and give them your money. But yeah, let's go ahead and install it. So what I'm running is a Ubuntu server, and yes, this is a VM machine that we're going to be using, because when you use a Ubuntu server or some type of Linux distro, it uses less resources. So let's say that you have a big family or a lot of roommates, or even if you want to share your media outside of your network, you can. Just make sure you have the upload speed to do so outside of your own network, by going to like speedtest.net and make sure that you have a good upload speed, because you can have a great upload speed on the local network, but outside of your network is a whole different story. So, but the reason why I chose Ubuntu is because it doesn't hog resources a whole lot. Like Windows, you can do it on a Windows machine, but we're going to do it on a Ubuntu Linux server because it doesn't require a lot of resources. And when you have multiple people trying to watch different movies or episodes or whatever, it can tax a whole lot of percentage on your CPU. So it takes a whole lot of transcoding. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this started. I will have a couple of links in the description down below so you can follow this step by step. This is what I used. So this is how to set up a media or the Plex media server, and this is how we're gonna FTP. So file transfer protocol allows us to import our movie here, The Lion King, into that Plex server. So let's go ahead and run these commands. First thing you want to do is make sure what's the IP address of that machine. We're going to SSH into it with the username and the at 192.168.2.16, and we're going to hit yes. Yep. Let's go ahead and log in. We want to run as root, so type in sudo space tac-i. It'll ask for the password. Oops, and now we are root. Let me go ahead and zoom in. So now that we are in the server here, we can just go ahead and minimize this and just have this up here. Now that we're in the server via SSH, it'll make it easier to just basically copy and pasta all the commands here. So it's going to use the curl, the curl, and this pathway, and we're going to go ahead and just add it towards our repository, and we're going to add that to the list of the repository. Okay, and it's saying we need to install some packages. So it's saying apt transport HTTPS. I would assume that's like Apache server. And we're going to update any remaining packages. And now we're going to install the Plex media server. While that installs, this next command tells us if Plex Media Server is running okay. Throughout some of the video, I might speed through with the power of editing, so just FYI. Okay, so we want to have this at the default setting, so just go ahead and type in N, and now it's going to process some more. Okay, so now let's go ahead and check if our Plex server is up and running. And this is the outcome. It says it started, yada, yada, yada. Go ahead and hit Control Z. So that's the output that it should say. It shows you that it's running. Okay, so adding a firewall. So by default, you don't have a firewall on. You can enable this. By default, you don't really have to do this. But if you want to have that extra security, you can. Let's go ahead and just run through it. It says to use Nano, I use 𝗶𝗀𝗀, and that's a text editor. They're both the same thing, essentially. So Nano or 𝗶𝗀𝗀, whatever command that you want to use. We are going to go ahead and copy and paste this. And by right-clicking, hit Control-O, Enter, then Control-Z. So now it's saved that into a file. This will allow us to update the new firewall rules that we have in, so or the profile list into the firewall. And we want to allow people to connect towards the Plex Media server. So IPv4 and IPv6 are updated. Now it's giving us a status to say, is it active or is it not? By default, it is not active. So to activate this, I'm going to type in UFW enable, and this might disconnect you from the via SSH. So we're going to go ahead and terminate connection. It might terminate you. If not, and you're still in the terminal, awesome. Okay. There's one quick thing that I want to make sure that we don't get disconnected. Let me just copy a command real quick, because SSH runs on port 22. And just go ahead and modify this real quick. We want to have SSH. Copy and paste that. So you do the same as well on your end. And we're going to change that to UDP. All right, cool. So I just want to do that just in case if anything messes up. Just in case if I can't remote back into my own server, since we now have an existing firewall. Right here is optional. This gives you a, it says make directions or directory, the path, then it says, okay, this is where you're gonna put all of your movies and TV shows. We'll just do it for the sake of the video, but I'm just gonna do something else. So you can do it this way if you want to. This will give it permissions under the Plex user, that it will have the permission of ownership and whatnot to actually use any media files in that directory. Since we have, since our main username is Plex, so you want to keep things with consistency. Now it says go to this web page, so let's go ahead and do that. Let me scroll this down real quick, just in case if any of my history shows. I don't want to edit that out because I hate editing. Okay. So once you go to that web page, let me go to inspect element, because my main email address showed. I'm just going to put in poop@poop.com. So now it will show different. Okay, awesome. Again, this is not a real email address. My main email address showed. I just didn't want to actually go towards like a. I didn't want to edit this out because it's more work than it actually is. So you can sign in with your Google account, with other accounts. You can make an account if you want to. Once you do, go ahead and sign in. Let me go ahead and do that. So now, here we are. This will give you a brief rundown how to add things, and it'll scan for your media. At the moment, we have no media such as movies in towards our server. What we need to do is create a FTP server. So this is pretty easy to do. We're gonna have apt-get installed, then the FTP package. Go ahead and copy and paste that. We're gonna hit yes. Okay, and we want to move this config file or copy it essentially. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and go in towards our editor. I'm using Pico, not Nano. You can use Nano if you want to. And we're gonna go ahead and paste this in. Now, when it says listen equals no, change that to yes if it won't allow you to connect through an IPv4. I haven't had that problem yet because I have connected through IPv4. I'm just saying if it does give you any complications. So you're going to hit Control O, hit enter so it saves, then hit Control Z to exit out of the text editor. And now we're going to go ahead and enter this command towards our firewall. Oh. So essentially, all you need to do is have port 21 open because that's where we're going to be connecting through. You don't need to have any of these ports, but just for the sake of the video, we're just going to go through it. Now it's going to reset the FTP server. And if you want to create a FTP user, you can. Plex, like the main user that you have already created on Ubuntu, can be used as your FTP user. But if you want to create an additional FTP user and password and whatnot, you can. Then you're just gonna have you're gonna give it a pathway that it has permissions to actually go in towards a directory. So next thing is what we want to do is go towards our FTP server, and I'm using FlashFXP. You can use FireZilla or whatever FTP server there is, or client to connect to the FTP server, and hit connect. The IP address of my server is this. Their username is Plex, and so 4-character password because I don't care. Okay, so now that we are in our server via FTP, let's go ahead and make a couple of folders. So this will be your movies folder, right? Movies. And this could be, the next folder could be TV shows. I would like to put like an underscore in just in case if it doesn't like spaces. It shouldn't be a problem, but that's just me. Okay, so let's go ahead and go towards our movie directory, and let's just say that you had multiple backups of movies or TV shows, and all you're gonna do is just drag and drop, and it's gonna take a second to upload in towards our local network. And now let's go ahead and well, it's done now. So now let's go ahead and go towards our FTP server, or where's Plex? Hello, where is it? Hello, there you are. Okay, so now that we have content on our Plex server, let's go ahead and click got it, and it's gonna ask, would you like to get the Plex pass? You can go ahead and click on exit, close out. This is completely optional. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but it does come with extra benefits. So we're gonna hit no. It says, great, we found a server. Give it a friendly name to identify in Plex apps on your network. I'm just gonna keep it as Plex. And it says, allow me to access my media outside of my home. So this will allow you or a friend to watch your content media that you have on your media server. You're also gonna have to do some port forwarding, which I already have. I'll put a link in the description how to port forward if you don't know how to do such a thing. Hit next. I'm just gonna create that name. It's gonna say add library. So it's like, okay, so we are adding a movie, and it's gonna be name movies, and browse for the media folder, and right there. So it's in our /home/Plex, and right there's movies, and right there's Lion King. You hit add, and add to library. Hit next. Hit done, and we're going to go ahead and hit continue. Now it says choose your preferred server. Just leave it by default. And this is all, you can customize things. We're just going to hit finish. So right here is Lion King. Awesome. Here's other movies that we have, right? So you're able to, this is through Crackle, and they offer free movies, and they partner with Plex. So even though that these may not be your movies, don't worry about it. It's offered to you for free. So there might be some good movies or whatever. Just go through them if you want to. So let's say that you just added more movies towards your folder. We want to go towards our movies. If it wants to load, there's going to be like a 3-dot thing, and once you click on that, it'll say synchronize folder, and it'll resynchronize the folder, and it will show the rest of your movies. Or is this the one that we need to go to? This one's a different one. Okay, no, I just had to redo it. Okay, so it says scan library files, and you're able to rescan the library files if you just barely put in some movies. I don't know how long it takes for an interval if you just barely put it in it, and if it does it automatically. I would assume it does. Maybe like it takes like a minute or like 5 minutes to update its library. Now, about for having a friend, if you want to invite a friend towards your Plex media, again, you're going to have to port forward. But here on the top right, let me let me pause the screen real quick because it's going to show some personal stuff. So when you click on that, it'll say user and sharing. And let me go in towards the inspect element and change it. So poop@poop.com. All right, awesome. I am now a proud owner of Poop. So let me re-show the screen. Sorry about that. Okay. So now that you see, you can create a managed user, or you can share your library. If you click on share libraries, it's going to ask for that person's username or email that they have registered through the Plex website, and I'm sure it gets an email sent out to them and a confirmation, blah, blah, blah. Then they should be able to connect towards your Plex media anytime they want, as long as your Plex media server is online. You can set up your own PIN if you want to. You can also create a managed user. So if you have, a younger kid or older kid or even teen or none for an adult, you can watch adult content, rated R or XXX or whatever, based on the description. So then you give that the create managed user a name, and it can be like guest, so they don't intervene with your personal profile. Because when you're like, for an example, when you're on Netflix, right, or even Hulu, and you're in 15-20 minutes into the movie, and you have to stop watching it for whatever reason, and to resume back, it says, hey, would you like to resume where you left off at? And if someone else were to use your profile, it could mess up your where you were last at. So it's always good to have a secondary, third, whatever user on the platform. And you can use they can go through on the Plex media through computer, Android, Apple, any device, a smart TV, Xbox, PlayStation. I would assume PlayStation. I would assume not Nintendo Switch though, because they're really stingy. They don't even have Netflix out for Nintendo Switch, but yet they have YouTube and Hulu. Anyways, that's off subject. If you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you dislike it, well, that sucks. Don't give me a dislike, give me a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Come through on my social media. Please do not ask for technical support on my social media. That's what the Discord is for. But as for social media, I just like to post random crap and also come through on my live streams. Again, don't ask me for technical support on my live stream or social media. Do that on the Discord only. So I hope you guys take care. Support my channel. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. You guys have a dope ass day. Thank you for stopping by.
If you haven't heard of private internet access, well, today's the day. PIA keeps 0 logs. For an example, there was a United States Supreme Court that sent a subpoena towards the PIA, and they asked for, hey, yo, give us the internet logs. And they're like, hey, yo, we don't have any logs because that is our policy. And you can check out articles on yourself by typing in Google. So I'm pretty sure you know how to Google, right? They protect your online privacy and identity, unblock censorship filters, the world's leading VPN. It's really cheap. You can try it risk-free for 7 days, but this is really cheap. You don't have like $7-10. It varies on promo, I suppose. But if you don't have like $7 to $10 to provide a month, then you're broke as I am, because I'm doing this as a YouTube skit, try to get some money out of you because it supports the channel. VPN features also secure VPN account, encrypted Wi-Fi, peer-to-peer support, P2P to OpenVPN, and L2TP IP security. 10 devices can be connected up. It blocks ads, trackers, and malware. Multiple VPN gateways, such as there's a whole lot of servers in a whole lot of different countries. Unlimited bandwidth, SOC 5 proxy included, no traffic logs, which is a good one for me, instant setup, and easy to use. So check out PIA with a link in the description on the screen and or down below. Take care.
Thank you for sticking around. Please feel free to watch my other videos. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow my social media. If you're feeling generous, check out my Patreon or send in a donation of any amount with PayPal. It really helps out with post-production, equipment, food in my belly, and also continue making free content for you guys. Links in the description. Y'all take care, and thank you once again.